Widzowie, jakie złoto materiał odkryłem, no nie? Zacząłem to oglądać na TV-sie i mówię, nie, ej, to jest za dobre, to nie jest materiał, który mogę obejrzeć przed snem, my to musimy obejrzeć na streamie. Słuchajcie, jaki typ challenge w ogóle 4 miesiące temu wymyślił, znaczy challenge, co koleś wyliczył matematycznie. Patrzcie na to.
In 2018, the appropriately named Twitch user GrindGod, formerly Erroneous Gaming, completed a challenge in Kingdom Hearts wherein he reached the max level of 100 in the tutorial area of the game, Destiny Islands. Doing so took him around 210
Słuchajcie
hours.
to?
He then went on to do similar challenges in Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3
godzin
for
typ grindował level w tutorialowym zonie. Mi to od razu przypomina w ogóle tych rookstayerów z Tibi, no nie?
about 495 and
I
284
sprawdzenie limitu, jak dużo jesteś w stanie zrobić w samooczkowej części gry.
hours respectively. An impressive feat to be sure, but it got me thinking, how many hours would it take to do a similar challenge in Dark Souls? First, let's establish what the maximum level in Dark Souls actually is.
Wszystkie staty
Different
na
classes
maksa.
in Dark Souls start with different levels, but the stats don't exactly match up to the level. So while one might
Tak, była kiedyś taka sytuacja, że koleś w lokacji startowej Pandarenów levelował zbierając skałki i herby i też bił max level tym kiedyś,
expect
no.
you'd want to start with a Pyromancer, as they're the lowest leveled class, you actually need to start with a Sorcerer. As the Fextra Life wiki states, the highest level possible when all 8 stats are at 99 depends on the starting class and lies around
710
level
level.
710. Max level is 713 when starting as a Sorcerer, as they have the lowest resistance. Then 711 as Knight or Thief, 709 as Wanderer or Pyromancer, or 710 for any other starting class. The wiki also states that the number of souls you need is 1,692,438,971.
Trochę jest tych
So
duszek,
now we
nie?
have our goal. We simply need to work out what it takes to achieve it in the Undead Asylum. Dark Souls' start.
Kurwa, Undead
Starting
Asylum
area.
to wygrindować?
We'll start with the Sorcerer and choose the Twin Humanities as our starting gift. I'll explain why later. We'll move through the area as normal. I'm going to take care not to kill any undead so that we can get an accurate idea of the amount of time this will take. In the Undead Asylum, we are guaranteed a certain number of souls. We get 100 souls from Oscar's eventual death, 2,000 souls from the Asylum Demon boss fight, who will also drop another humanity for us to use, and we can get another 200 souls from the Soul of a Lost Undead near the end of the area. So we'll pop that itemized soul item, as well as the 3 humanities in our inventory. Now, for something that wasn't planned, one of the undead from just before the fog gate attacked me. It's actually kind of nice though, as he quickly shows why the humanity is so important. You see, with humanity, your item discovery increases. This is the rate at which items drop from defeated enemies. The more your discovery increases, the more likely it is that you'll receive an item. So why do we need enemies to drop items for this? Well, weapons in Dark Souls degrade their durability over time. The dagger that we use as durability will
Ty wziął pod uwagę to, że przy tak dużym grindzie jemu się mogą zepsuć startowe przedmioty, a nie będzie miał ich
slowly
jak naprawić.
decrease until it eventually breaks. But by that point, we already won't be doing enough damage to keep collecting optimal souls from the enemies. As evident by the undead we just killed, they're capable of dropping broken straight swords. However, broken straight swords do very poor damage and will significantly increase the amount of time this challenge will take as a result. It even takes multiple backstabs to kill the undead, which are some of the weakest enemies in the game. What's the solution then? Beyond the undead by the fog gate, there's another enemy called the undead soldier, who has more health than the normal undead. More importantly, he has a 2% chance of dropping a longsword. That chance is increased due to our item discovery being bolstered by our humanity count, to the point that we can reliably assume if we kill this undead soldier with every run, we can be given a steady stream of longswords to continue this challenge indefinitely. Now for the numbers. How many souls do we get from the 5 enemies
Jakie to jest niesamowite, że nagle przy takich obliczeniach bierzesz pod uwagę fakt tego, że w tej grze został umieszczony w tutorialu jeden dodatkowy przeciwnik na lekko wyższym poziomie, który ma 2% szans na drop miecza, no nie? I teraz wyobraźmy sobie, że na przykład ten film i taki challenge by nigdy nie powstał, gdyby tego przeciwnika tam nie było. Jak czasem małe elementy dorzucane do gry mogą coś
we need
zmienić.
to kill for the most efficient route of collecting souls. First, the
Nie no, ja obstałem, że tego challenge'u się nie da zrobić, no nie? że on by trwał zbyt długo, ale obliczenia mogą być
Standard
ciekawe.
hollows will give us 20 souls each. We can actually improve this with a backstab though.
To też jest ciekawe, nie wiem czy wy wiecie, jak zabijacie przeciwnika większą ilością obrażeń procentowo niż on ma maksymalnego życia, dostajecie bonus
Able to kill an
ducha.
enemy for 150% of his total
150% całkowitego zdrowia, jeżeli zadasz mu jednym hitem, żeby go zabić, to dostajesz 20% więcej dusz, wiedzieliście o tym?
health. Enemies drop 20% more souls, bringing our yield to 24 souls per hollow. It also helps that a backstab is a quick and efficient method of killing these enemies anyway, so it's ideal to perform it even if we don't get more souls from doing so. We have 4 hollows for a total of 96 souls. Then we kill the hollow soldier, granting us an additional 80 souls. We're unable to break the 150% barrier even with a backstab, so no extra souls from this guy. So, in the best case scenario, we're looking at 176 souls per attempt. Now, how fast can we do an attempt? This took a while. In fact, it took 81 tries for me to get the attempt you're watching. Timing begins as soon as I close the bonfire menu, and
81 prób, żeby najlepszy
ends
taki
when my
czas.
character sits back down at the bonfire. I was hellbent on getting the time within 1 minute to make the math on this a lot easier, and I just barely managed to do so. Enemy AI was not cooperating with me, and it made doing this a lot harder. The first hollow would jump off the stairs, the next two would move too slowly or be in bad positions. The bow shooting hollow would hit me just after I finished a backstab. Sometimes I wouldn't roll after jumping off the ledge. It was a mess, but I managed it.
Udało się.
So now I have my variables for what would be the best case of doing this attempt. Now I need to do the math. 1,692,438,971 souls. Minus 2,300 souls from Oscar, the Asylum Demon, and the Soul of a Lost Undead. That's 1,692,436,671. 176 souls per minute is 10,560 souls per hour. So 1,692,436,671
Widzę, jak to się podejmuje tego challenge.
divided by 10,560 gives us the number of hours this would take, which is 160,268.62. Rounding up to 160,269 hours, that's equivalent to 6677.87 days, or 953.98 weeks, or 249.54
18
months, or 18.29 years. Bear in mind, this figure does
Jest to do zrobienia. To jest do zrobienia. 18 lat czystego grindu, to jak mając 20 lat byście teraz zaczęli, biorąc pod uwagę, że no, robilibyście to full etatowo, to do końca życia skończycie, nie?
not include time for sleep, work, and no bathroom or eating breaks. A solid 18.29 years of gameplay to achieve this result is the best case scenario. Unfortunately, that still isn't the end of it. There's one more problem we have to deal with when it comes to this challenge. The maximum capacity of souls we can carry at one time is a measly 999 million. In order to reach the number of souls we need, we'll actually have to reach a ridiculous number of souls, die to leave a bloodstain with those souls, and make sure we don't die again for the remainder of our grind.
O kurwa. Bloodstaina by trzeba było zostawić takiego i nie możesz wtedy błędu popełnić.
For the rest of the souls. Once we've gotten enough, we must go
No właśnie, jak Stop Killing Games nie przejdzie, to From Software wyłączy DS1 w trakcie grindu, no.
to Fire
I właśnie dlatego potrzebujemy takiej inicjatywy jak Stop Killing
Shrine,
Games.
level up, then return to the Undead Asylum to get our bloodstain, and go back to Firelink to perform the remainder of the leveling. As if we needed another challenge on top of all the other stuff. But despite that, it's all still doable. So now there's only one thing left to ask. Who's up for the challenge?
Ja nie. Ja odpadam, widzowie, nie? Zajebiste są takie challenge, lubię to oglądać, takie
Thanks for watching
obliczenia.
this video.
Jeden z takich też fajnych to jest moim zdaniem, ile by trzeba było czasu, żeby w Diablo 2 z runy L zrobić Zoda. No właśnie, jestem już za stary, ja nie mogę, nie? Ale może
Few
ktoś
people
inny.
for helping me make this. Namely, Grind God for giving me the idea of making this video in the first place, Viscery for helping me with the math on this, which I'm utterly terrible at.
Ciekawe, czy przy 99 siły by nie dostawał 20% bonusu za tego rycerza. Ty bez kitu. Jakby zlevelować jakąś statystykę na samym początku i zobaczyć, czy by się dało wyciągnąć bonus backstaba z
Speed Souls
tamtego.
Discord community for clarifying some misinformation and misconceptions I had when doing some preliminary testing for this video, and Illusory Wall for being an inspiration on obscure or strange topics for Dark Souls videos. I'd also like to thank Catalyst for attempting to help me with some of the free camera shots. Thanks for watching. You can check
Zajebiste, nie? Zajebiste.